While we've mapped everywhere there is to map on land, there is still vast areas of ocean that remain untouched and unexplored. What lurks in the depths of the deep dark seas still remains the mystery. So, for today's video, we're counting the most mysterious places in the ocean. Hi everyone, welcome to Unknown Read channel, where we uncover the strangest and most unbelievable facts that will blow your mind. If you're into fascinating discoveries and incredible stories, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, so you never miss a moment of this amazing journey. Point Nemo. This mysterious place in the ocean with the same name as the adorable little fish who got lost and had to be found kind of has a similar story. Point Nemo is one of the most remote locations on Earth, so finding it really isn't for the faint of heart. And if the fact doesn't tip you off to how remote this area actually is, then its other name will. Point Nemo is also known as the oceanic pole of inaccessibility. It's so remote, it's pretty much inaccessible. It's located in the South Pacific Ocean, and it has the rare honor of being the farthest point away from any landmass in the world. The nearest landmass is 1,670 miles away. Well, you can take your pick since there are three landmasses that are similar distances. Goosey Island to the north, Mare Island to Antarctica in the south, and Mutunui of the Easter Island to the northwest. So, Point Nemo is the place in the ocean that is the furthest away from land, surrounded by miles and miles of open ocean in all directions. Due to the remote location, Point Nemo is often called the loneliest place on Earth. Just to put this into perspective, the closest human inhabitants to Point Nemo are the astronauts on the International Space Station. The water here is over 13,000 feet deep, and because of its way out in the middle of nowhere, the water hasn't really been explored. Most of the ocean floor under Point Nemo hasn't been mapped, so basically it is one of the very last unexplored places on the planet. And since it's so far away from any land, it's probably safe to say that Point Nemo won't be explored anytime soon. Which begs the question, what will we find when we finally find a way to explore Point Nemo? Because finding Point Nemo is as hard as finding one specific little lost fish in the ocean. Think that was weird? The next fact is gonna blow your mind. The Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle. Few places on Earth can boast quite as many unexplained disappearances and unsolved mysteries. But what is it really? Well, from a geological standpoint, it's an area in the North Atlantic Ocean, and it's a pretty loosely defined region. The tips of the triangle are basically Miami, Florida, Bermuda, and San Paulo, Puerto Rico. This triangle covers an area of approximately 500,000 to 1.5 million square miles. Cause, like we said, the area isn't really defined, so it's just a big, widely undefined region in the ocean? Well, not quite. You see, stuff goes missing in the Bermuda Triangle, so numerous ships and planes have disappeared without any explanation. No distress signals sent, no wreckage found. Well, now the area is prone to violent weather too, including hurricanes, and that could account for some of the disappearances. There's also really strong currents here too, like the Gulf Stream, which can make it hard for ships to navigate at times. However, the weather and the currents do little to assuage the beliefs of conspiracy theorists. To many, it's not the weather nor the currents that are to blame. No, It's aliens or time warps or doors to another dimension. You see, some believe that the aliens have for some reason situated themselves in this region and they occasionally just strip the odd boats right off the water or a random plane from the sky. Others speculate that the Bermuda Triangle could contain portals to other dimensions or time warps and that the missing ships and planes simply slip through one. Of course, none of these theories have been proven and none of the odd disappearances have been explained. So the Bermuda Triangle still remains one of the most mysterious places, not just in the ocean, but in the world. Think that was weird? The next fact is gonna blow your mind. Let's dive into it. The Great Blue Hole. What could be more mysterious than a massive blue hole in the middle of the ocean? Well, that's basically what the Great Blue Hole is. It's a massive underwater sinkhole located off the coast of the Blitz. The hole is about 43 miles from the mainland and it's actually part of the larger Blitz Barrier Reef system, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So what makes it so mysterious? Well, it's perfectly circular and it has a deep blue color that sharply contrasts with the turquoise waters that surround the reef. The hole is about 984 feet across and about 400 feet deep. The sink was formed during the last ice age when sea levels were much lower. It's believed to be a collapsed limestone cave system. At least that's the leading theory, truth be told. Its actual formation is source of debate in the scientific community, and no one really knows for sure how it was formed. In fact, the Great Blue Hole is earned a reputation as one of the world's most mysterious diving sites. Divers flock to the Great Blue Hole to explore the wonders for it themselves. It's got an eerie beauty about it, plus it's in a pretty remote local which only adds to this intrigue. Now, the hole may seem to have a bottomless depths, but this place is rife with marine life. Fish, sharks, coral, you name it. They all live in there. But the real allure is the world of underwater caves. Exploring the hole, it's not for novice divers. It requires advanced skills and technical equipment, and getting there is no cup of tea. Either you got to get permits from the Blitz authorities, coordinates transportation and accommodation, and you have to check the weather before heading out. But if you're lucky enough to do so, then you can say you dove in one of the most mysterious places in the ocean. If those aren't bragging rights, we don't know what is. Bimini Road. Not so much a place as an object or an object in a place. Bimini Road is one of the most mysterious objects ever found in the ocean. It's also known as the Bimini Wall or Bimini Rocks. It's an intriguing underwater rock formation off the coast of Bimini in the Bahamas. Now this road's made up of a series of limestone blocks that are arranged in a near linear formation. Now the reason it's so mysterious is it really resembles an ancient paved road or pathway of some sort. The road's located in the shallow waters near North Bimini Island, and to add a little punch to the road, it's in there with the Bermuda Triangle. So given that tourists have of course jumped on the road and its location and claimed that Bimini Road is obviously the road to the lost city of Atlantis. It's now not proven of course, but there are several things about the road that are pretty mysterious. The limestone blocks that are arranged in such a precision and regularity that people argue they must be man-made. They're too perfect to be natural, they say. However, the most captivating theory that connects Bimini Road to the legendary lost city of Atlantis comes from Plato's dialogues. Cretaeus, there Atlantis, is described as an advanced society that existed over 9,000 years ago before sinking into the sea. That's pretty much where the theory that Bimini wrote is a remnant of this fabled city comes from. Of course, there's also a lot of theories that the rocks are perfectly natural, but that theory isn't as much fun. In any case, Bimini Road and what it actually is continues to be a pretty controversial topic, with a lot of people sitting firmly on either sides of the fence. If you're enjoying this video and want to help us out, please give this a like and comment for the algorithm, because it will really help the channel out a lot. Thank you so much. The Weddell Sea. A sea itself might not seem like the most mysterious thing around, but the Weddell Sea is not your ordinary sea. This sea is a vast expanse of water located in the Southern Ocean. It extends into the southern hemisphere and surrounds Antarctica's eastern side. And yes, because of its location, the sea is characterized by its extensive ice cover. In fact, the sea ice is present for most of the year, as well as large ice shelves and icebergs. The Weddell Sea is in one of the most remote and inhospitable regions on Earth. It's notorious for the harsh weather conditions and very cold temperatures. These things, combined with a thick layer of ice, make it almost impossible to explore, and since it really can't be explored, it really hasn't been studied. The sea is an integral part of the Antarctic ecosystem. Marine biologists know that much. But most of the marine life is poorly understood since scientists can really access them. It's not that exploring the sea is hard or be expensive. It's just downright dangerous. Unpredictable weather and high winds are the norm out there on that sea. And because that sea is really isolated, it takes a lot just to get there. And to make matters worse, nearby Antarctica doesn't really offer much help. There is limited infrastructure there, so scientists basically have to travel to a remote continent with little on it, and then out to an even more remote sea. Well, this is what makes it so mysterious. We really don't know a lot about this ice-locked location. Logistically, we're trying to find out more is a nightmare. So what really lurks beneath the sheets of ice in the Weddell Sea? Well, we really don't know. So which of these was your favorite fact? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and check out our social medias. Thank you.